If you are watching this right now and trading feels hard, like really hard, I want you to listen to me for the next 10 minutes because I have been exactly where you are. I have blown accounts I should have kept. I have stared at my screen after a red day and wondered if I am actually ever going to figure this out. I have had weeks where nothing worked and I started questioning whether I was just not cut out for this. Everyone who has ever made money from trading has been in that place. Everyone. I do not care how successful they look on Instagram. I do not care how many payouts they post. Every single one of them has sat where you are sitting right now. And that is why I want to make this video, because if you are in that place today, I want to talk to you directly. No strategy video, no slides, no indicators, just a conversation about what actually got me through it. Because the things that pulled me out were not what I expected. 8 years of prop from trading, over $2 million in payouts, and I'm telling you the hardest part of all of that was not learning the strategy. It was not risk management, it was getting through the exact phase you are probably in right now. So let me talk to you about it. The first thing I want you to understand is this. Trading feels hard right now because you are comparing yourself to where you want to be, not to where you started. That is the trap everyone falls into. You started trading because you saw somebody making money. You saw a screenshot of a big payout. You saw a lifestyle you wanted. And you thought, okay, I'm going to get there. And now you are 6 months in or a year in or even 3 years in and you are not there yet. And every day you feel the gap between where you are and where you thought you would be by now. That gap is what makes it feel hard, not the trading itself. Here's what I want you to do. Look back at where you were 1 year ago, not where you want to be, where you actually were. What did you know about markets then that you do not know now? You probably did not know what liquidity was. You probably did not know how to read structure. You probably did not know what a daily loss limit was. You probably did not know any of this. You know more now. You are a completely different trader than you were a year ago. You just cannot feel it because you are not looking in that direction. You are only looking at the gap ahead of you, never at the distance you have already covered. This was the thing that kept me sane in the bad years. I would go back and look at my journal from 6 months earlier, and I would see a trader who was worse than I was now. That was proof that I was moving forward, even when the results did not show it. You are moving, I promise you that, even if the account is not growing. Even if you blew another Profam challenge, you are not the same person who started this. Give yourself credit for that. The second thing, and this one is harder to accept. Trading is supposed to feel hard at this stage. That is not a bug, that is the entire process. Let me explain what I mean. Everyone thinks that getting good at trading is a straight line. You learn, you improve, you make money. More time in equals more skill equals more profit. A clean curve up and to the right. But that is not what happens. What actually happens is you learn for a while, then you hit a wall, then you break through the wall, then you hit another wall. And the walls are where all the growth actually happens. They are also where everybody quits. If you are in one of those walls right now, if everything feels stuck, if you feel like you are doing the same thing and getting the same bad results, if every trade seems to go against you, you are exactly where growth happens. You are not broken. You are in the middle of the part that most people never get through. I have watched so many traders quit right before they would have broken through, like genuinely close. They were weeks away from it and they walked away because they could not take the plateau anymore. That is the saddest thing in this business, because the thing that made them quit was the same thing that was about to make them profitable. The ones who make it are not the most talented. They are not the smartest. They are not the ones with the best strategy. They are the ones who stayed in the seat when everybody else got up and left. If it feels hard right now, that is information. It means you are in the phase where most people give up. Which means if you do not give up, you are going to end up on the other side. By default, right? Not because you did anything special, just because you stayed. Now, I want to address something specific, because I know what a lot of you are thinking right now. You are thinking, Andrew, it is easy for you to say this. You already made it. You have the payouts, you have the YouTube channel, you have the business. Of course you can tell me to keep going. And that's a fair point. So let me be really honest about something. I almost quit so many times. I'm not exaggerating. There were moments in my second and third year where I was genuinely close to walking away. I had blown multiple accounts in a row. I was not making the money I thought I would be making by that point. And I started asking myself, is this even real? Is this something I can actually do, or am I just telling myself a story? What kept me in was not motivation, because motivation runs out. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings come and go. What kept me in was a decision I had made earlier that I was going to see this through. And when motivation was gone, all I had was that specific decision. If you are relying on feeling motivated to keep trading, you are going to quit. That is just how it works. Because there are going to be days and weeks where you do not feel like doing this anymore. If that feeling is what drives you, you are done the moment it disappears. The only thing that gets you through is deciding in advance that you are going to keep going, no matter how you feel, no matter what the account shows, no matter what other people are doing. You made a decision. You have to stick to that decision. The feelings will catch up later. That is the difference between traders who make it and traders who do not. Not motivation, commitment. Those are two different things. Here's something else that nobody talks about. The period where trading feels the hardest is usually right before something changes. I have seen this in my own career, in the careers of traders that I have mentored. There is this specific moment. It is almost always the darkest point where everything is not working, nothing feels like it's coming together, and you feel like you are wasting your life. And that moment is almost always right before the breakthrough you're about to have. I don't know why it works that way. I think it is because in those moments you are actually forced to confront the stuff you have been avoiding. You have to be very honest about your mistakes. You have to stop telling yourself stories about why things are not working. You have to actually look at what you are doing and admit that something needs to change. And when that shift happens, when you stop blaming the market, stop blaming the prop firm, stop blaming your broker, stop blaming anything outside yourself, that is when your trading starts changing. For me, the breakthrough came when I finally accepted that I was blowing accounts in the same way over and over again. I had been telling myself each one was different. Different market conditions, different setups, different bad luck. But when I actually looked at the data, every single one had the same cause. And until I actually admitted that, I could not fix it. So if you are in the dark place right now, look at it as something that you are required to do, not a punishment. You are not being tested by the market. You are being given an opportunity to see something about your own trading that you have been avoiding. That seeing is the breakthrough. The profit will come after that. One more thing, and this is probably the most important one. Stop measuring your trading in weeks or months. Start measuring it in years. I know that sounds brutal, but hear me out. You do not get good at any other skill in your life in a month. You do not become fluent in a language in 6 weeks. You do not become good at a sport or a musical instrument or a profession in your first year. Everything that is worth doing takes time, years of time. Why would trading be different? When you measure your progress in weeks, every bad week feels like the end of the world. Every losing streak feels like a permanent indictment. Every blown account feels like you are starting from zero. When you measure your progress in years, a bad week is just a week. A losing streak is a few days out of a career. A blown account is a chapter, not a book. I have been doing this for 8 years. 8 years, think about that. If I zoom out to my whole career, there have been months where I lost money. There have been weeks where I blew multiple fund accounts. There have been whole stretches where I questioned everything. But when you stretch out 8 years, all of those moments are just dots on a long line that goes up and to the right. You need that zoomed out view. You need to give yourself the chance to actually figure this out without judging yourself every week. Because the weekly judgment is what makes it impossible. The weekly judgment is what makes people quit. If you are committing to being a trader, commit to being one for 5 years minimum. Give yourself that runway. Stop expecting to be profitable by month 3. Stop expecting to be making $10,000 a month by the first year. Give this the time it actually deserves, and then just let time do its thing. So here's what I want to leave you with. If trading feels hard right now, I hear you. I have been there. Everyone who has made it has been there. You are not broken, you are not doing it wrong. You are not too slow or too dumb or too undisciplined. You are in the part of the process that everybody has to go through. Just look backwards sometimes, not just forward. See how far you have come, not just the gap to where you want to be. Understand that the hard phase is where growth happens. The wall is not a sign to quit. It is a sign you are in the place most people never get through. Rely on commitment and not motivation. Decide in advance what you are going to do. Then do it regardless of how you feel. When things are darkest, look for what you have been avoiding. The breakthrough is usually hiding inside the thing you do not want to see. And measure your progress in years, not weeks. Give this the runway it actually deserves. I'm not here to tell you that it is all going to work out. I do not know your situation. I do not know if you have the resources or the time or the support to keep going. Only you know that. What I do know is that if you are the kind of person who stays in the seat when it is hard, you have the one thing that actually matters in this business. So keep going. Or don't keep going. That is your choice. But if you do decide to keep going, I promise you look back one day and understand why this phase had to happen. It will all make sense later. It never makes sense while you are in it. That is the truth about what this actually takes. Now, if you want proper, real guidance while you work through this stuff, I have a mentorship program called the Profit Blueprint. This is for people who are ready to commit to the long version of this. You have the link in the description to apply. And if you need a program that actually pays out fast when you need it to, I recommend Hola Prime. They have the fastest payouts in the industry with under an hour processing speed and zero payout deniers. You can use code NFX or the link in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.